So, what is going on, guys? Jimmy taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Hot Rod. And Hot Rod here is, well, he's an intriguing guy. I bought him the other day. Finally, at my local Walmart, a new wave of Transformers shows up. And it was the Studio Series wave with Hot Rod, Studio Series 86 RC, Crosshairs, and Ironhide. And it's the first wave of the studio guys that I've seen with an open box design. I haven't seen that yet until now. And I don't have his box, it's at work. I bought him while I was at work, and he sat on my desk all of yesterday. And today. And now he's here. As far as Hot Rod goes, he looks great. This robot mode is awesome. It's very kibble-less looking. He has the bits on the arms, which is a bit annoying. They're the most annoying, but I don't know how accurate they're. I don't mind these. I like having the wheels visible. These are also the wheels, but they're kind of in a weird way. On the back, he also has door wings, which, like I said, I love door wings. I actually really like door wings, and I kind of hate car formers who don't do door wings or something along those lines. He has door wings and a hood chest, so he's great. Other than that, though, the back is very clean. It's just one panel. It looks nice. The most egregious thing about the door wings is they have this little itty-bitty one, but that's fine. As far as colors go, he looks black on camera, but he's actually more of a charcoal color. He has a bit of brown to him. He's not like a pure black figure. He's just kind of charcoalish. And that goes for the wheels, which are unpainted, as you're probably already seeing, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they didn't paint the wheels. And one thing I like, though, this isn't a faux chest, which is awesome, and we'll get to it. And one thing I'm going to point out in the transformation that's really cool in the design is here, but we'll get to it. Hot Rod comes with one whole accessory, which is his time gun, I'm pretty sure is what it is. And mine has like a removable magazine. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but it does come off. I'm not going to try to rip it off because it doesn't like to come off, so I don't think it is, but it came out of the box like that for me. I went to take it out and it just kind of ripped the mag off, and alright. The box is in really good shape. I managed to get all the things off them without ripping any, which was nice. As far as head sculpt goes, I don't even have to bend him down. He's like perfect height. His head looks perfect. It's very good. That's just that little spot of orange really is nice. I wish he had more orange throughout the arms, though, because there's some in the chest, and that's all in the legs. But then you got the head. He has some nice blue eyes. Mine has a bit of scuff on the top here. I don't know if you can see it. Right there, you can kind of see it. Also with his head, I'm confused because I don't know if this is his mouth right there or if that's just a mouth plate. Because the distance looks like a mouth plate, but then you get closer and you kind of see a mouth, like, right there. So I'm unsure if it's a mouth or not. It's really intriguing. Now, his articulation. Really good. Like, really good. Ball joint in the head, so you can do pretty much anything you need him to do in the head area. Forward and back, which is also on a ball joint, along with an outward, a swivel, an elbow, which is 90, a hand rotation, which wasn't necessary, but they did it, as it is a panel for the car form, so it wasn't necessary, but they did it anyway. Rotation at the waist, forward and back, a swivel. Now the knee is really restricted by this wheel. It's really restricted. It's just really restrictive, unfortunately. Now, what's not restrictive is ankles, which have a lot of bending ability, along with the ball joint and a rotation. He has really articulate legs, other than that knee joint. That knee joint's a real bummer, but other than that, this guy's really well articulate. He is just a really articulate guy. He has great articulation, and is really good. So other than that, before we get into the transformation, I also got to show this off, because I don't know if anyone really does. He does have weapon storage. Yep, stores right there. Stores on his hip. Really nice. Just wanted to point that out. Goes into this little slot right there. Goes into that, which is the mushroom peg slot. Other than that, that's his robot mode, so let's get into the transformation. To transform Hot Rod, we're going to first start at the legs. You're going to straighten these out like that. You're then going to take the wheel here, and you're going to push it inward onto the back. So he comes out of the box like this, so it kind of looks like he has no knees. But he does. You just got to fold those out. You're then going to come to the spoiler. You're going to fold those out like that. And then he has these little bits here. These things fly off religiously. They're not pins. They're just friction. And it shouldn't be friction. It should be a pin. It should be a pin. I almost lost them at work like 5 times. First time I transformed, it just went flying. And I went, holy crap, where is that gone? Because it's a tiny little part. There it goes. That wasn't even intentional. It's literally just if you don't bend the foot correctly, this thing will pop off. It will pop off. If you don't transform the foot the exact way as dictated, it will not go. This guy's not modified. I gotta do a modification to this little peg here. But we'll get to that little section in a second here. So you fold the legs together, and then suddenly the spoiler won't go together because the peg's too big for the slot. Or is it? Yeah, it has to slot in from the top, which I find weird, but it works. And then take those little panels I mentioned, push them down, and they form the exhaust of the alt mode. Also, he has painted rear lights. Very thin rear lights, but they're painted. So that's awesome. So the next thing we're going to do is look at the chest here. So you got the abdomen area, and it looks like an engine. It ends up where the engine would end up. And it's my favorite detail of the whole thing. Pull on the chest like that, and then you can flip that out, and that starts to form the hood. So that engine detailing kind of flips away, and you don't see it till robot mode. But it forms an engine-like structure, and it's awesome, and I love it. You're also going to turn around the head, flip in that, like so. So that's how it's supposed to go. You got to turn around, or his head will drag off the ground. I'm pretty sure that's how I scuffed it, is I tried rolling it when I didn't do that. Next thing you do, make sure the arms are in the correct way. Before you get the arms into position, though, make sure you rotate the waist. Because if you don't... Oh, my dog is barking. Uh-oh. Anyway, that only lasted like 2 seconds, so it's fine. No point in editing if it's only 2 seconds of barking, right? Right. Anyway, the next thing you're going to do is come to this back section. You're going to fold out these little panels on the back. And they're tiny little itty-bitty things, and they're on friction. None of the panels are on pins. I don't know why. They're all on friction, and it's really annoying, including the ones on the door wing. I should mention that. So yeah, it's kind of weird that not a single panel on this guy is... It's just not in the correct place. Which is just, it is funny. It's weird to me, you know? Like, I just don't know why. Anyway, I'm going to take the legs. Not the legs, the arm sections. You're going to do that. They're going to peg in. So it's taking so long. I said I only had this guy for a day. I just kind of want to crank out the review of them. You're going to fold it into place. Sorry for that really bad clicking noise, which didn't sound good, but it always makes it. So clearly I'm doing something wrong, and it's going to break eventually if I keep doing it. But anyway, there is his alt form, which is this very nice Lamborghini. I'm not sure of the exact model, but it's beautiful. And getting there is nice and satisfying once you get the hang of it. I know that didn't look satisfying because it's a lot of panels, but I love this transformation. I think it's a good transformation, and I especially love how the chest works. The chest is the front of the car. But then you look at the robot, the car mode, it's like, how? How? Because yes, it folds up, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. As far as storage for the weapon goes, it does kind of have it. There's these little slots back here. You can peg the weapon on. There, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty well it for weapon storage, sadly. So, at least it can shoot, though, I guess. I mean, as far as the car goes, I love the little orange accents on it. They're just so minor, but they're they're just sleek looking. They're nice. I feel like you can really see the brown color coming out in the alt mode because there's so much of it at the same time, unlike the robot where it's broken up by bits of gray and bits of orange, so it's not as noticeable. Like I said, the lack of tire paint's really noticeable though because it's the same color as the car. Why? Why did you do this? At least they painted the headlights and the badge. They also painted the rear lights, which are not orange, they're red, so they actually paint them in a different color. Nice. Sorry for the rear end not looking as nice as it could. It's just it won't line up correctly because of that spoiler being the peg being too thick. I mean, as far as the alt mode goes, it just looks nice. It's just a great looking alt mode. It does roll fairly well as well. Oh, it rolls way better than Dino did. Dino could barely roll. This guy can roll a bit. So yeah, let's just get to my thoughts on this figure. This figure is great, and it's not going to be recency bias. Don't worry. I don't want to review it when I first get it and be like, this is the most amazing thing ever. That's why I waited a day. And I usually do wait a day or two on the new figures I buy because it makes sense. Because I don't want to sit there and instantly review them as soon as I get them out of the box and give my first impressions, or I'm going to say, oh, this thing's amazing. Is this thing amazing? Yes. Is it rightfully so? Oh, absolutely. This thing's an absolutely great toy. This thing is great. Even if you don't like this character, which I don't know anything about this incarnation of Hot Rod. I don't care about this incarnation. I just like the design. Also, this is like a pull-up joint, and as you can see, I don't think it wanted to pull up there. It's like the most minor pull-up thing you've ever seen. Yeah, that doesn't look right. That's like going upward on a bend. I'm going to see what's wrong with that, but other than that little hiccup that I'm seeing right there, yeah, this guy's just as good as I'm going to get for just a random character I don't care about. He's great looking. His transformation is awesome. His robot mode looks good. His alt mode looks great. And there goes the little brown panel that launches off because it's so loose. And one of my few major issues with this guy is ironically going to be the brown panel. It's just going to be an issue for me. Someone's going to end up saying, oh, that's such a minor issue. Like, why would you critique a figure on that? Because it's a tiny little part, and it's not a major part or anything. If you were to be missing those parts, it wouldn't matter. But another thing is, if this guy ends up in thrift stores down the line and stuff like that, as second hand, this guy's going to be missing panels left and right. I'm just saying that right now. Because nothing's pinned in, and it should be pinned in. I feel like that's a precedent. You're not spending as much on the packaging. Put it somewhere else. Like I said, the wide open windows are starting to kind of bother me because, yeah, you can just do whatever you want to the toys. You could, you know, literally rip the heads off them. LeBron James style. Man, that trend sucked. Apparently people were doing it to Transformers because they could. I seen it happen one time. I was like, that's crazy. But as far as this figure goes, just design-wise and everything, I love him. He's great. The robot mode, stunning. Transformation is awesome and fun. I like it a lot. The alt mode's gorgeous. Everything about it's good. And he's gonna get a 4.5 out of 5. Is it recency bias? I don't think so. He doesn't have very many flaws. He just doesn't. He doesn't have flaws. The flaws he has are like tiny little nitpick flaws, which are enough to not get him a 5, mainly because, you know, he has little tiny panels that'll go flying off on a whim, and then no pins on the other ones, so they'll also fly off, not to mention the translucent plastic back, but that's just Transformers now, isn't it? So yeah, this has been my review on Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Hot Rod. This has been Eilt, Eilt Elite, signing out.